Hey guys, it's Oluvids, and today we're going to be talking about Fire Emblem 3 houses. Mostly the Black Eagles route, because that's the only one I finished right now, but yeah, let's get started with this. So basically, Fire Emblem is a tactical RPG where battles take place on a grid-based map. And yeah, you send your units out to fight enemies, and after you finish the mission, you go on, explore around the monastery, and then you just go to the next mission. Got around 39 hours of playtime in this game. Around the last month, I kind of just skipped any battles. I just only did like seminars and stuff like that, just so I could get to the final fight a little faster. So it'll probably take maybe around 40, 41. I mean, it'll vary around that. Okay, as I said, Fire Emblem is a grid-based tactical combat game, kind of like Final Fantasy Tactics, something like that, if you ever played that, or Pokemon Conquest. But basically, you have different weapons that you can use. So you have swords, spears, axes, bows, fists, black magic, and white magic. And units can also be mounted on horses, Pegasus, I don't know how to say Pegasus in plural, or a dragon. You can also, of course, equip a secondary item like a ring, which can, give you a small stat buff, or a shield, which will increase your defense, and a staff, which will increase your magical power. And if you have a close-range weapon, you have to run up to the enemy to initiate an encounter. But before you engage, you can see the possible outcome of this encounter via the battle forecast. Ranged weapons, however, can attack further away, so like you can basically be like one space away, and you could still hit them, and they won't be able to do anything to you. However, if you're a lower level bow user, if they run up to you and attack you, you can't attack them back. So that's a little trade-off there, at least when you're at the lower level. And then we have the mounted units, which basically can move again after they performed an action. So, after that, they can only do wait, they can't attack again or anything like that. And also they have this mechanic called Divine Pulse, which allows you to turn back time to any turn in the battle, even to the beginning. You can go all the way back to the beginning. Like, it's crazy how far it could go. So yeah, it's good for mistakes. Like, let's say you accidentally, I don't know, sent someone to their death or something like that, and you're playing on classic mode. You can use Divine Pulse to go back and fix your mistake. And it also helps if you have Joy-Con drift. Why, Nintendo? Why? Okay, so this is Garreg Mach Monastery. So basically, this is where you're going to be spending your time outside of battle. It's the school / main church. Anyway, so yeah, when you're in this place, you can roam around the school and interact with students, and each action you do will take up one of your activity points. And you can get more activity points by increasing your professor level. And after you use up all of your activity points, you have to end the day. Well, you don't have to end the day, but I mean, you press L to end the day if you're done with everything you want to do. And then as you progress throughout the weeks, you get to the end of the month, and then that's your main mission. That's basically like overall how the main structure of the dynamic between the monastery and the battles will go. So when you're spending time with people in Garreg Mach, you can increase your bonds, and increasing your bonds could kind of give you a little buff when your units are next to each other. Certain units that have a strong bond, that you get small buffs, and they can also increase your gambit's powers for a team up gambit thingy. You can also cook food to boost the motivation for the week, and you can also do a meal with one person to give you little stat buffs, kind of like Final Fantasy 15. You can also do something called faculty training, which allows you to train with school staff to increase your weapon levels, meaning like your character's weapon levels. Whoops. A similar mechanic is also used for your students, but that only happens at the beginning of each week. So, but for the teacher, you do that during your day off, which is where you could perform all your actions. So yeah, at the beginning of each week, you can instruct your students by choosing the weapon skill that you want to increase. And of course, that mechanic is tied to the motivation and activity points. So basically, let's say they have 50% motivation, they can increase the weapon skill 2 times. However, if they get a perfect, not only will their XP increase times 2 of what they would normally get, they also have a chance to get praise, which will increase their motivation again, which could help you to get even more XP. And your activity points will basically tell you how many students you can instruct at that point. And of course, you could increase your activity points again by increasing your professor level. So yeah, there's other activities to do in the school that don't really take activity points. So it's like fishing and side quests. You could always do, you'll get side quests, which could be to just get an item or to participate in a battle. I don't know, let's say defeating some bandits that are stopping a shipment of food coming in or something like that. Okay, so now that we're in the discussion portion, I'm going to be talking about spoilers from the Black Eagle story and like a little bit of spoilers from the Blue Lions, just to like prove a point. But anyway, let's start off. First of all, this story definitely had like a lot of surprises. Like, it didn't exactly turn out the way I thought it was going to. Like, I knew that Edelgard was planning to go against the church at some point, but like, I didn't know she was going to do it like that, if you know what I mean. You know, like, I thought she was just gonna, you know, try to make a world where like there's no discrimination. Okay, that's fine. You could do that peacefully. But you know, she wants a world where everyone's judged based on their character, based on their skill, rather than just your bloodline or crest. And like, her intentions were good, it made sense. But then like the way she did it, the execution of her plan was just completely wrong. Like, she ended up plunging Fodlan into a fierce war for 5 years, just to quote unquote unify all the territories in Fodlan by taking over every single territory. So yeah, that didn't bring peace to Fodlan. That brought a bitter war for absolutely no reason. Like, nothing good came out of this. Yeah, like, I thought that, like, okay, maybe the church was gonna turn out to be evil or something, and then we have to team up with Edelgard to like stop the discrimination, but like, that did not happen. It was something completely different. So later on in the Black Eagles timeline route, we also learned that Lady Rhea is the daughter of Sothis, and is basically trying to bring back her mother, which is why she takes your character and puts, you know, Sothis' soul, I guess, into you to try to bring her back. But then she ends up having to fuse with you again anyway, so her mother doesn't really come back, but like, you have her powers. So also, she could turn into a dragon. I don't know why, but well, I mean, I guess her people can do that. Anyway, so next, Hubert shares the location of those who slither in the dark, aka the people who killed your father, aka the people who sent missiles after you. Oh yeah, also they like dubstep. So basically, the story ends with Rhea and all the people who share her blood to start rampaging throughout the monastery as dragons or just rampaging soldiers. But yeah, the story keeps you hooked, and but you can tell that like not everything is explained in one story. Like, I could tell that like it's incomplete. This is not the full story. I don't know the full story just by playing one route, so I gotta play the other routes to actually understand everything. Yeah, so you're gonna have to choose different houses to actually get the full story, which is pretty good because that makes the game very replayable. And so it's like 40 hours long, so you could do that times 3 or maybe even less because they have New Game Plus. But yeah, it's a very replayable game. I like that. So yeah, an example of how the story can change. It's a very small example, but like when you're fighting Lord Leonardo or Miklon in Black Eagles, it's kind of just like, okay, you're stopping some uprising or stopping a thief. Nothing too serious. But like when you go to the Blue Lion story, it turns out that Ash is trying to like figure out why his father is turning against the church, and he's gonna have to fight his own father, which, you know, brings some emotion in there. And also with the fight with Miklon, you turn out that it's Sylvain's brother, and he's kind of jealous because he's been discriminated since he doesn't have a crest, while Sylvain has a good life in the monastery just because he has a crest. So like, you know, it could change the perspective on what's happening in the story. I don't know what happens later in the game yet. I still haven't finished the Blue Lions, or I've even started Golden Deer, which, by the way, Blue Lions is on YouTube for you to watch, so you'll be seeing me, like, my reactions to all of that stuff. Yeah, also one more thing I forgot to mention So I played the game on normal and on classic mode. So classic is, of course, if your units die, they permanently die, unless you restart the battle or use Divine Pulse. But anyway, so I don't know if it's just me, but like I noticed that like a lot of the enemies just have really low accuracy, or like just, I don't know. They have low accuracy. Like my characters seem to have like high critical like hits, because like they seem to get critical hits a lot, but like the enemies like miss a ton of times. Like, you know, it's pretty noticeable like how much they miss, like how bad their accuracy is. Like even when it's just a simple encounter between two people with a sword, they'll have like 50% accuracy. So that's kind of weird. I don't know. It's probably intentional to make the game easier, but like yeah, this game is on the easier side. I only got a game over like once, which is at the final battle, which like that one was actually pretty hard. Yeah. So that's gonna be like it for the Black Eagle side of things. I will make follow-up videos when I finish the Blue Lions and the Golden Deer videos. Gonna be talking about, I guess, my opinions on the story, but this is the initial video. This is where I talk about mostly just what's just the regular gameplay of the game. What I think of it. I think the gameplay's fine. It's a little easy though. Oops. Yeah, and I'm just talking about, you know, just the crazy stuff that happens in the story and how it, you know, defied my expectations, which is pretty good. I'm excited to see what happens in, you know, Blue Lions and Golden Deer. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. I hope you liked it. I hope, you know, you enjoy these discussion type videos. I want you to tell me, like, what did you think of this game? Like, and what do you think of the story of this game? If, you know, please put spoiler warnings just in case, so that, you know, someone who didn't play the game won't be spoiled. And obviously, even if someone played one route, it doesn't matter. You should still put spoiler warnings, like if you're talking about another route. But yeah, please tell me your opinions on the game. I want to know. And I also want to know from like actual Fire Emblem fans. Like, this is my first Fire Emblem game, so like I want to know from hardcore Fire Emblem fans, how does this game hold up in your opinion? Put it down in the comments, and hope you have a good discussion.